Alright, we're going to attempt to take off this old crummy bubbly tint. Alright, that little bit of glass took about an hour. I think I can refine that process to hopefully do a window in about, maybe about half an hour if I'm lucky, 40 minutes. So I'll do the whole car next. Windows have come out immaculate. It looks like the tint really protected them because there's hardly any scratches on them. So, all right, today really we're back on a Sigma. Since the last video, we've done gearbox flush, diff flush, engine flush. So I've sort of done all those things off camera. Today I want to pull out the seats, give them a bit of a clean, hopefully open up the doors, put some central locking in, maybe even get the alarm in. And do all that sort of stuff until my suspension arrives for this, and then we can do suspension and we'll go from there. It's a little dusty, apart from that it's okay, so it's pretty good. We might take out the center console and the back seat as well and give it a thorough deep clean. Wetback did a great job. It's looking schmick. Seats turned out pretty good too. And we'll get to run in some cables. companies that make these central locking motors are getting absolute tight. I mean, this is a heavy duty kit to fit most cars. This ain't a big car. Imagine if you're doing like a Commodore or a Statesman or, I don't know, a big car. You might make this to the door. Damn tight asses. While I'm at it, I've just ran a couple of speaker cables down the car. I'm not too sure if I'm going to upgrade the stereo in here or maybe put a deck and a glover yet, but I definitely need to upgrade the speakers because it sounds like crap with the factory dash speakers. So yeah, I'll probably do something to the back, create a parcel shelf and throw a couple of speakers in, just a bit of noise, and maybe work out what I can do for a deck. I just don't want to cut the dash because it's in such good nick. If you're taking off trims or running cables in cars, these are my 3 favourite tools you've got to get. Trim remover, looks like a duck leg. A scriber or an angled pick, which we get into little nooks and crannies when you've got to pull stuff off. And a fid, where you can squeeze through a rubber grommet and run a cable through, which is what we're going to do now. So we need to get this cable through this grommet so we can plug it up on the car side and run into the door. So first what we'll do is we'll pinch a little hole in there. You can use this to widen the hole, and then you can run your cable through. So just go this side. What that does is it widens the hole so you can get a very thin cable through. Stretches the rubber. And then seals up that hole quite nicely. There we go, now the cable's run through the side there. Normally when you buy a central lock kit you get these rubber grommet long strips which go over the cable. Unfortunately this kit that I got didn't have them. They're just cheaping out on the kits these days. So I'm just going to use tape. It's got no grommets. Maybe you could use heat shrink or something like that. But yeah, that's going to run this through the door and then we're done for the moment. I think I'm going to have to find some of those rubber things. Just whacked all the seats in, all looking clean. I've lifted the center console out and front seat loose. I'm going to take it back out to finish off central locking and the alarm. That's it for today. Stuffed. Alright, today we'll fit the central lock in the doors. super clean, which is great. Maybe this hasn't even been opened up. It looks so like the factory glue is still in place, which is awesome. We'll retrieve the wires out of the door, run them up here, install our central locking motor. Right, the goal of getting the central locking motor to work well is to line up the stroke with the stroke of the locking mechanism. So you've got to line up that motor to sit in line with that same stroke, and then connect in central locking rod which goes to the motor with a locking bolt, and the things to be wary of to make sure it's actually got the same stroke length. That can be a bit of an issue with central locking. And if it's definitely crooked or you haven't bent your rod the right way around, it might be stiff, which will make it hard for the locking mechanism to go up and down. And it's always good in an old car to lube up the locking mechanisms to make them a bit more limber. Yes, so we'll lube them up first and then we'll get on to mounting the rod in the motor. So I've got the stroke where I like it, but that rod is not completely straight. We've got that comes up an angle, so I'm going to bend this to get that angle that I need. Kind of just do that the way I. Little locking mechanism, one side for your central locking rod and the other side for the car rod, locking rod. Put them both in the lock position, put them up. Make sure the lock still moves freely with the locking rod connected, and then get your battery, get your motor triggers and test it to see if it goes up and down smoothly. Just using my drill battery. Lock. Unlock. Great. When you're connecting these up, you make sure that all your locking mechanisms go all the same way. So if the actuator is open, that is unlock, and if the actuator is closed, that's locked. If you do it the other way around on one of the other doors, because the locking mechanism is different, make sure that you reverse your green and blue wires. Likely with the passenger door, if you're going to put a master motor in the passenger door where they control switch locking from the passenger, then it'll be the same colour because it likely goes the same way. But just be wary of that when you're wiring these up. Make sure that these are the right way. All the locks in this car, actuator open is unlocked, actuator closed is locked, so we wire the same in every part of the door. No doubt there's a big debate if you should be crimping or soldering nails in the door. If you need to remove this door all this cabling out of the door, you're probably best to crimp them. So it's unlikely that I'm going to remove these cables from this door. They'll likely just hopefully work. I'll never have to change anything, so I prefer soldering. I've been doing car electrical, car security stuff for 20 years, and I've soldered all the cars I've done, and they've all lasted as far as I know. So yeah, I just prefer to solder. Just seems like a better connection, providing you solder well, no dry joints, and it should last forever. I finished installing all the door locking motors. I've also installed the siren for the alarm. I've installed the alarm modules. I've got all the wires here to connect for the alarm. I'm just going to install the alarm light on a little blank panel and start wiring up the alarm. Alright, moment of truth. Locked. Nice. Armed. Most car alarms have got like a warm-up period to arm. So arm maybe take 30 seconds or so to activate, and hopefully our LED light should start flashing to tell us it's armed. There we go. Now if someone breaks into the lock and opens. Excellent. Disarm. Looks like it was a success so far. Alright, we'll tidy up the rest of this cabling, get the panels in, seats in, and we're done. Awesome. Lock, arm, see if the immobilizer works. Okay, so now it's armed, it should start. Doesn't start. Disarm. Oh, I think that's the job done. Next is take it for a cruise.